And good evening, and welcome to C3. It is Wednesday, September 16th at 8 o'clock. Those of you who have been watching regularly our C3 broadcasts probably know me. I'm Bradley Fitch, the organist and director of worship here at the church. And today we have a special guest, Miss Debbie Vavrick. Debbie is one of the three wonderful Debbies who are part of the music ministry, and she does a whole lot around the church. She plays the flute, she works with the children's choirs, and she kind of helps keep me sane over in the music wing. So we're happy to have her today here. We're going to talk a little bit about children's choir and some other exciting things that are going along with that. But first, we're blessed with a really rich music program here at the church. And one of the great opportunities we have coming up to share with everyone is an event called Music Under the Stars. Debbie and I will both be a part of that. If you would like to know more, please come to Saturday worship this weekend or tune in Sunday morning to our live stream, and you will find out a lot more about that information and how find out more information about that event and how you could be a part of it. So that is going to be coming up, and let's talk about what we are here today for, which is children's choir. But first, Debbie, I think a lot of people probably know a little bit about me. I sit and play the organ and kind of wave my arms around sometimes up in the front of the church. But tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do here at the church? How did you come to be a part of the children's choirs? And just kind of let people know a little bit more about what you do.
Sure. My family moved here in the 60s, and I've been a member for many, many years, long enough to have been on the very first chapel choir tour. I joined the chapel choir, and at that point, when I went to college for music, I was asked to be an assistant children's choir director, and then eventually became a children's choir director for a while. And then I had to move on to do some other things, but now I'm back, and I play my flute a lot, and I sing with the chancel choir, and help keep Bradley sane.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie, and I can vouch for that. Debbie's an excellent flautist, and we're really happy to have her here, and a really wonderful, I think, part of the children's music ministry. And so that kind of brings us to what we're going to talk about tonight, which is children's choir. This is a obviously trying year for a lot of people, but we have a long and rich tradition of children's choirs here at the church, and this year it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be obviously a little different from normal since we can't be singing live. We're actually going to be doing a virtual children's choir. So Debbie, let's talk a little bit about children's choir. First of all, when is children's choir going to be starting this year?
It's going to be starting September 23rd with our first virtual choir rehearsal, but it will be a Zoom meeting at that point. So we'll be on live with the kids for that meeting, just to say hello to everybody and get a chance to catch up with one another.
Okay, so coming up pretty soon. Who can be a part of children's choir? Can I join the children's choir, or am I too old?
Sure. We need you.
Okay.
We start the children's choirs at age 4. We actually have 3 different choirs for the children. We have the Rhymes and Rhythms, which is for ages 4 through kindergarten. And then we have the Carol Choir, which is the choir that I direct, and that's grades 1, 2, and 3. And then we have the Joyful Noise and Boy Choir, and that's for grades 4, 5, and 6.
So there's a lot of opportunities and 3 different choirs, and that sort of requires a small army of volunteers and directors. Debbie mentioned that she directs the Carol Choir. Esito, who is our choir director, and myself, we're in charge of the Joyful Noise and Boy Choir, which are grades 4, 5, and 6. And Miss Emily Gallagher takes care of the Rhymes and Rhythms. And some of you may have noticed a young lady singing on some of our live streams on Sunday morning. That's Emily, for those that don't know her. She's a wonderful musician, a recent graduate of CMU, and we're really happy that she is on board working with the kids. Last year was her first year, and I know that my own daughter Olivia was in the Rhymes and Rhythms and just loved it and loved her. So we're really happy to have her here. So 3 children's choirs, ages 4 through 6th grade. That's a whole lot of people and a whole lot of kids. Debbie, if my kid wasn't in the children's choir, why should they be?
Oh, there's so many reasons. So to start with, It's another way for your children to experience their faith and learn about their faith. It gives them a chance to serve in the church, to serve as part of the leadership of the church when they are actually singing in services. It's a good way to serve God and to participate in Sunday services and learn about the tradition of the Methodist service. And we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of fun things. We've had things like Pie Face, which a lot of our boys and girls would remember. So it's not just about working. We have a lot of fun in our groups.
And you're right, Debbie. There is a long and deep tradition in the Methodist Church of great singing, great hymn singing, great hymn writing, and great choirs. So we're really glad to be a part of that.
It also gives them a chance to start fellowship within the church, to make friends that they will have for life. Some of my best friends are still people that I sang in chapel choir with.
Or maybe that's just because no one else could put up with you. No,
Well.
it is. You do make a lot of really good friends, and a lot of those of us who work in the church and volunteer in the church oftentimes grew up singing in kids choir and having that sort of formation and really kind of deep impact and opportunity to serve the church. So it's a lot of fun and a lot of work, but I think obviously a lot of reward as well. So this year is, as I mentioned, virtual choir. Now, how is that going to work? Well, I'm glad you asked, or I'm glad I asked. The goal, normally for a normal church year, we would have the kids sing a couple times throughout the semester, whether it's the fall or spring. This year is going to be a little different. So the goal is to have a virtual children's Christmas choir. So that will happen obviously in December. And I think if Sean would pull up our virtual choir room, we're just going to take a look at that. A lot of our information, I think people that have been using, been used to having some virtual classrooms already might be used to this format. This is going to be our resource page. And if you go to our children's choir page on the website, on the church website, this is what you'll see. There will be little exercises, announcements, videos, all kinds of fun stuff for the kids to navigate. We'd like to try to make it as easy as possible so that the kids can go on and navigate themselves. There'll be assignments, updated, little fun videos, and things for the parents, just kind of depending on what's going on. And the older children, grades 1 through 6, will primarily use this website to find different things that they can do. We won't be meeting live every week. There'll be a couple of live meetings throughout the term. But a lot of what they'll be able to do themselves, we're trying to make it. I know a lot of people are getting overwhelmed with the amount of screen time their kids are getting with all the virtual stuff going on. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible on the kids and not have them be overwhelmed. So ideally, they would pick a time every week that they could sit down and kind of go on the website and explore and maybe practice their singing, rhythm games, find out announcements from us. And then that'll give them a little bit of a break and I think have a little fun too. The Rhymes and Rhythms is going to operate a little differently. Miss Emily is going to have some rhythm and movement exercises up every week, but then she is also going to do small group sessions with the kids every week. And it'll be 2, maybe 3 kids in a Zoom call with her, and that will be by appointment. So after the signups are completed, she'll be in touch with everyone to sign up for slots. And then it's a really, really nice way for those kids to get some one-on-one time, even more than we're able to do in a normal year, because in a normal year, all the kids are together. So this gives us the opportunity to go a little bit more in depth, I think, with those kids and give them a little bit more personalized attention, which is always fun.
Don't forget that there is going to be a special spot for announcements, but sometimes when you go on that announcement spot, you might see the choir directors doing some zany things. So make sure you always check that out.
Yeah, you never know what we're going to get up to over in the music wing. So be prepared to see almost anything you may happen to see. Now, as I mentioned, talking about some signups and whatnot, Debbie, how can people actually get involved in the children's choir and join the children's choir?
They can go on the church website, christumc.net, and go to the, and they can actually do christumc.net/children's choir. And if they click on that link, there will be a sign-up format that they can actually enroll their kids in the choirs. And that will give us the ability to see who's going to be able to come and and learn with us and maybe help us with our Zoom Christmas program. There's going to be a sign-up link also in Miss Janet's weekly email this Friday.
Okay.
And you can always contact Dr. Bradley at the church, too, if you have any questions.
Yeah, at any time. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, SC Toe. If you need to get in touch with Miss Debbie or Miss Emily, we can certainly point you in the right direction for that as well. And you could find our contact information on the webpage. So we are talking about Christmas, and people are probably asking, well, how is that going to work? Well, if you've been watching our Sunday live streams, the traditional Sunday live streams, you've noticed we've been doing some virtual choir hymns, and it'll be a similar format. We'll ask the kids to submit their recordings to us, probably by the beginning of December, and we'll send out directions closer to that time about how exactly that's going to work, things about lighting, a link for, to upload the videos and all that. And then once we get them, we have a lot of hardworking people here on staff, including Sean Lewis and Zach Miller, who kind of make all that happen, mixing the audio, putting it all together, and making it sound really, really good for the website. So that is one of the reasons why we have that early submission date. So once that happens, we'll have sort of an early end to children's choir. You can enjoy your December, look forward to Christmas, and then we'll see what January brings. Debbie, is there anything that I have missed in our discussion about the children's choir this year? Anything you might think of that you might want to mention? Or
Well, I do want to mention that I've managed to do one of those Zoom choir recordings for the chancel choir. So if I can do it, it took me a while, but if I can do it, I'm sure your children will be far better at it than I am. So don't worry, it's not that hard to do unless you kind of are technologically challenged like I am.
So, in other words, if a lot of old, cranky choir members, adult choir members can do it, certainly the kids can too. It's a lot of fun, and it presents us with a lot of great opportunities. And I think even for those kids who haven't been able to, in the past, participate because of our Wednesday rehearsals, this is a great opportunity for everyone to get involved. And that's one of the reasons we're sending it out to, invitation to all the kids. If you don't think you could sing, if you do think you could sing, it's okay. Anyone's welcome to have fun. The more people we get, the more fun it is. And that's one of the great things about choir. Even if you're a little unsure or a little hesitant, you could still join in. And at any time, even if you might think you might want to come in and meet with one of us for a little extra work, we're happy to do that. I know I've worked with some of the adult choir members on their videos, coming in to record and, just kind of run over parts and those sorts of things. So don't feel that your musical interaction is only going to be on the website. We are happy to arrange any meetings at any time. And of course, all of our Zoom calls and in-person meetings, we follow the Safe Sanctuary guidelines. So all of that will be safe as possible for the kids and everyone involved.
We've missed them.
Yes.
We missed the end of the year. We had a lot of fun things planned to end our year last year, and it was sad when we had to take the precautions that we did, but it was good that we did. We have been delivering treats to our former choir members because they missed out on their bowling party that we were going to have last year, and it's been nice to see the faces. We have several wonderful assistants that help us. Miss Dorothy, Miss Katie, Miss Rebecca, and MB. MB who plays, she's the accompanist for my choir, and they've been out with us passing out the treats and meeting with the kids, and the kids that we've been able to see have been so happy to see us, and we've loved seeing them.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody, and we miss it. And obviously, we all like making music, and we love making music with the kids and with each other, and that's part of the fun and fellowship of being part of a group like this in a church like this.
And they're pretty amazing.
They are.
They're pretty amazing. What we can have them do.
Yep. Well, I think that's probably going to about wrap it up for us tonight. But thank you for tuning in. And as I said, things are going to be a little different across the board this year, but we're really excited about what we're going to be able to do and how we're going to be able to do things a little differently. And the great thing about these virtual choirs, or the great thing is we're going to be able to have this for a long time. So even in 20 years, the kids will be able to look back and say, hey, that's what I looked like, back in the day. So thank you again. Don't forget to catch us in live worship this weekend on Saturday night. You can come and do the drive up, or catch us on the live stream on Sunday morning. You'll find out about some other great events happening in the church, and we will hope to see you there. Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.